Hello friends, how are you? I hope you are fine. Before start the video, I would like to point out one thing. I spent about 40 hours preparing this video. If you like this video, write comment and subscribe. It will be very motivating for me. Thank you from now. Now let's start our video. Today we will visit Museum of the History of Science and Technology in Islam together. This museum is particularly significant for those interested in the history of science. One of the primary reasons for this is that the museum demonstrates how developments in science and civilization are interconnected, allowing to us to view the history of science from different perspectives. Before starting to visit this museum, I would like to give you brief information about Fuat Sezgin, who determined the concept of the museum, and then about the museum. Thus, we'll be able to visit the museum more consciously. Professor Dr. Fuat Sezgin is a science historian who was devoted himself to researching the history of science and technology in Islam for more than 50 years. He is researching of the subject on original sources, and for this purpose, he learned 27 languages. Fuat Sezgin, who died in 2018, was buried in the garden of the museum. Also, if you are interested in history of science, I recommend you to examine the works of Fuat Sezgin. The museum, which was opened in 2008, is located in the Gülhane Park. So right now, the park where I shot this video, there are 570 instruments, replicas, and models collection at the museum. Unfortunately, I will not be able to introduce you to each of the 570 instruments, but I will try to show you many of instruments in the halls. The vast majority of those instruments that I will introduce, you will be instruments invented between the 9th and 16th century. Finally, I would like to tell you the many of the sections in this two stories museum that we'll visit. The section in the museum are astronomy, time measurement, nautics, military techniques, medicine, mineralogy, physics, mathematics and geometry, urbanism and architecture, optics and chemistry. While visit the museum, you will not see my except for my reflection on the glass, but don't worry, my voice will accompany you. If you are ready, let's start visit the museum. Now we will go upstairs and start the museum visit. This is the movie theater. Here you can watch various videos about the museum. Now we enter the astronomy section. When we come to the astronomy section, astrolabes greet us. That's why I want to tell you briefly what an astrolabe is. It uses include determining the position of the sun, moon, planet and star. In addition, the local time and prayer time in Islam were calculated by astrolabe. The astrolabe was also used to solve some mathematical problems. If you remember, I told you the originals of most of the work in this museum are in other museums. For example, the original of this astrolabe is in the Germany's National Museum. For example, the original of this astrolabe is in the Frankfurt University. I don't know what you think, but I love the design of astrolabes. The designs are really interesting. This astrolabe is the largest of the astrolabes from the pre-16th century. The original is in the Istanbul Navy Museum. I hope we will go to the Navy Museum soon. This is the celestial globe of Coronelli. This instrument is an instrument for measuring the sunrise point. This is another instrument for measuring the sunrise point. The picture you see is the work team of Polymet Tayakıttin, one of the most important astronomers of the Ottoman Empire. This is an instrument for the determination of the sign on a vertical scale. This is an instrument for the determination of altitudes and azimuths. This is a model of the Samarkand Observatory. We continue to visit the astronomy section by moving to other halls. By the way, if you come to this museum and if you come to Istanbul, definitely come visit. You will see informative article about important Orientalists on the walls of the museum. There is a picture on the left side of the corridor. There are many symbolic structures of Istanbul in the picture. Don't worry, we will visit this place in detail. I think that those who watched my Galata Tower video noticed Azaf and Ahmet Çelebi flying from Galata Tower in picture. Now we go to the other hall. This animation belongs to this instrument. This instrument is an instrument for measuring distances between stars. You can see in animation how it's done. I am so excited watching this right now. I don't know how you feel. If you look carefully now, you will see my reflection in the glass. I find this instrument very interesting. This instrument is instrument for the determination of stellar altitudes in minutes. We will now leave the astronomy section. I guess this is universe map miniature, but I am not sure. Now we enter the clock technology section. Let me start introducing the instruments here. This is the sundial you see. This model you see is water clock in Morocco. This water clock is oldest water clock today. I'm waving at you. The design of the candle clock is very nice. The design of many things today seems soulless to me. What are you think? I think this is the water clock. I wave to you again. These are compass. Now I will show you the compasses closely. These are also compass. I think these compasses look more like today's compasses. This clock is a candle clock with 12 doors. This is the chandelier clock. By the way, I see a chandelier clock for the first time in my life. This is a water clock with alarm. The clock is too big. All of the clocks here seem very interesting to me. Friends, this is sundial. Now we come to the war technology section. I wish war technologies weren't so advanced. This weapon is a rocket. These are the bombs. This is also a flamethrower. For some reason, the catapult is a tool that I really like. You see many catapults model over here. This weapon really intrigued me. This instrument was a primitive tank. I think really good. Now we come to the medical technology section. We came to the piece after war. These are gynecological instruments. This is device was used for the treatment of spinal dislocation. And do not try at home. Here it is written which instrument does what. If you come to this museum, you can look at this and visit the museum better. Guys, we've finished visiting the upper floor now. We are going downstairs. We continue our tour of the lower floor of the museum with the mineral section. In this museum, there is a collection that includes up to 100 stones known to Islamic scholars. Now I am going to show you some of those stones. Here's a very small diamond. By the way, I still don't understand why it is so expensive. Now we left the mineral section and we are going to the physics section. This tool is used in making döner. By the way, döner was once the food I fell in love with. Then I decided to eat less animal food, and there was a great coolness between us and döner kebab. This lamp is a lamp that doesn't go out in the winds. Zerometer. It serves to determine the specific gravity of liquids. It was an animal-powered water closet. I think interesting. This is a ship mail. We are leaving the physics section, guys. The mathematics and geometry section and the architecture and step planning section are in the same hall. So we are going to go over these two parts at once. When we enter the hall, scales greet us. These are the leveling instruments you see. This is device for dividing circle. This is device for dividing diameters. Almost all of them hair scales. Guys, we just saw the models about mathematics and geometry. Now we will see the models about architecture and step planning. This is the Sultanahmet Mosque, which you should definitely see when you come to Istanbul. This is the Selimiye Mosque. This is the Süleymaniye Mosque. By the way, I have planned to personally go to this place. I have shown and introduced this place to you. I hope I achieve this goal. I think I will make it. Now we leave the section. Now we enter the section of chemistry and optics. In this section, we were first introduced to the light reflection observing instrument. Our friends in this model obtain essential oils and alcohol. The instrument we see is rose water distillation device. They are ovens for cooking portions. I found these ovens very nice and interesting. What do you think? Now we come to the geographic section, which is the last section we will visit in the museum. This latitude measuring device. Here is an animation explaining how to measure latitude. Here are old maps. As you can see, this is the Mediterranean map. The map in the middle is the map of Cyprus. Now we are at the exit.